In the centre of the country's economy in Gauteng, the MEC for Economic Development Parks Tau says that the provincial government is making progress in helping the provincial economy and that it believes the policies it's following will help create jobs. At the same time, the City of Johannesburg currently holding its Energy Indaba in a bid to try and get more electricity into perhaps the most economically important metro in the country. Well, Parks Tau is the Gauteng MEC for Economic Development. He joins us now. MEC, good afternoon to you. You delivered your budget speech this afternoon. You say that your interventions are helping to boost the economy in Gauteng. What are you doing and how are you able to assess if it's going to work?
Good afternoon, Stephen, and thank you very much for inviting me. The provincial government is driving a number of programs in line with our Growing Gauteng Together 2030 strategy. One of the key programs that we're driving relates to addressing the economic geography and spatial transformation in our province. But broadly talking about the economic geography, we're implementing a number of special economic zones, with our flagship being the Tshwane Automotive Special Economic Zone that's grown in leaps and bounds in just about 2 years. And extensive investments have taken place there. We're expanding our investments in the OR Tambo IDZ, which is the original special economic zone that we had in the province, and the first, and we're expanding in that regard. We're finalizing our master plan for the VAL and started initiatives around both Lanseria and the West Rand. So our multi-tier special economic zone program is taking shape, with a number of industrial and commercial partners having committed to invest in these special economic zones and enable us to drive the programs around export and economic development in our province. We also, as you would know, passed the Township Economic Development Act, and through the Township Economic Development Act are establishing township enterprise zones, which would be commercial and industrial complexes in the townships to enable and facilitate economic development and spatial transformation in our townships. And lastly, of course, one of the key programs that we have been assigned is the pronouncement that was made by the President with regards to the establishment of the Lanseria Smart City. In that regard, we are the lead department coordinating both the provinces of Gauteng and the Northwest, but also the municipalities and national government in driving the process of establishing this new smart city. This is just one angle of the programs that we're implementing with regards to economic growth and transformation. We are focused on the 10 high growth priority sectors and have partnered with, in particular, the Public-Private Growth Initiative, and with them have held bilateral or rather roundtables with industry leaders in the 10 high growth priority sectors, and have identified a number of joint steps that need to be undertaken to drive the programs there.
MEC, thank you. I mean, you mentioned, as I understand it, the high-capacity rail corridor. Infrastructure is absolutely crucial to all of this. In a way, I think our infrastructure is almost under attack if you look at what's happening with cable theft, if you look at what's happening in the railways. What kind of railway system are you looking at?
Well, the high-capacity rail corridor is in response to, amongst others, the Tshwane Automotive Special Economic Zones. Whilst it has been looked at in the past, what has created the urgency is the fact that you intend to import components and parts into the Tshwane Automotive Special Economic Zone. But from the Tshwane Automotive Special Economic Zone, the projection is an export of an estimated 160,000 new Ford Rangers per annum. And these need to be transported mainly through rail, and therefore, having identified the Eastern Cape as a particularly opportune area where we can drive this export from, to complement, of course, the Durban Harbour, which is feeling a lot of pressure. We think that this high capacity rail corridor would enable us to improve our export capability and the speed with which these vehicles would be able to reach the destination. But it's not only focused on Ford, it is now looking at a whole range of other import and export potential that has been identified, and it has been registered as a strategic infrastructure project in the presidency, and is now being driven by the presidency in partnership with the provincial governments that are impacted upon Transnet and other role players.
Within all of this is the problem of power, and I'm talking specifically the problem of the electricity, and MEC The City of Joburg, a city I think you will know very, very well, considering you were once the mayor there for a long time, I remember. The current mayor is having an Energy Indaba at the moment. Now, she comes from a different political party to you. She says that they want to be less reliant on Eskom. Do you think Joburg's doing the right thing by trying to get other sources of electricity? Other cities around the country are going to be doing exactly the same thing as well.
I think the solution to the energy problems need to be addressed at a multiplicity of levels, including addressing demand side and reducing demand on the grid. And I think a whole range of role players can play a part in reducing demand on the grid. Secondly, on the supply side, and I think Joburg is talking about supply side measures with regards to energy, and it's something that we should all welcome and commend. I think it is important that we secure our energy future as a province, but also address the current challenges that we're facing. So we certainly welcome it. You would know that when I was with the South African Local Government Association, this would have been a high priority area nationally because it's a particularly important point and an articulation of an argument that said local government should be able to generate its own electricity and take advantage of the opportunities that are created. Whilst they are distributors, there should be opportunities on the generation side. So I certainly welcome it. I think the provincial government certainly welcomes the energy conference and looking forward to the outcomes of the energy conference. But just to pick up on the same point, of course, one of the things that we have to address is also in the context of economic development, which is our mandate in the province, issues around access to energy for industry and creating an industrial base load. You probably know that we have gone out to market, or we're in the process of going out to market, to establish microgrids to support the industrial base load initiatives, starting with the Tshwane Automotive Special Economic Zone and identifying others. And we're taking advantage of the 100 megawatt cap that the presidency pronounced on, and we think there's an opportunity to provide an industrial base load. And we're actively working with the University of Johannesburg in developing a green hydrogen strategy as part of our future industrial base load, because one of the important things we need to accept is that our energy future is intricately linked to our economic future, taking into account that on the basis of the EU Commission's determination of additional tariffs on fossil fuel production sites, we literally are forced to transition into green and alternative energy sources. And green hydrogen has been identified as a future area of work. We've started work in that regard with Sasol and mitochondria in the south of Gauteng, which is the City of Johannesburg, and also in the west.
We are going to run out of time in a minute. I'm sorry to keep interrupting you. Within all of this, so I mean, you say that you support what the City of Joburg is doing. You talk about the microgrids that your department and the provincial government of Gauteng particularly are involved in Tshwane. But in Gauteng, we have three metros that are right next to each other, Tshwane, Joburg, and Ekurhuleni. The point I'm trying to get to is that with the electricity, scale is really important. And the more customers you have, the more money you can invest in, the more solar panels, the bigger windmills, whatever it is that you want. Do you think that there's a big space for the province to get involved in the production of electricity as well? In other words, it may make more sense from an electricity generating point of view, rather than having metros generating their own electricity, to have the province doing it so that they can sell it to all three of the metros at once, because they're all right next to each other.
I think the opportunities in that regard, when we're talking about green hydrogen, we are looking at provincial-wide scale. What is important is that we cooperate and collaborate with local government and to ensure that we're all on the same side with regards to addressing a critical challenge to our communities and indeed to the economy of this province.
Parks Tau, MEC for Economic Development in Gauteng. It's been a while since we last spoke. Thank you very much indeed for your time. I do appreciate it.